Here at SoCon Football Media Day with head coach Mark Spear. Coach, Catamounts have been picked 7th in the league this year. What do you think about that?
I guess it's better than 9th. This preseason stuff, whether you're picked 1st, 7th, or 9th, it's good, I guess, for preseason. You make it however you want to make it. If you're first, everybody's going to be shooting for you. If you're last, morale or motivation. A lot of us coming off what we did last year. Didn't have a great year, but hopefully our players take this as motivation to get back in the hunt of being, winning a SoCon championship or being in that top tier where you're competing for it. But at the end of the day, all this preseason stuff's fun to talk about, but it all boils down to what happens out there on that field and where you finish.
Speaking of that, Coach, you do have 5 players who've made all-conference honors on first and second team. And that includes Detrez Newsome, who's been made all-conference running back first team and all-conference kick returner first team. What's it like to have weapons like him and Terrion Robinson, offensive lineman Dalton, and Keon Crossan?
Well, you got good players that the peers in your league recognize, and when it always means a lot when the coaches that you're playing against recognize your players as some of the best. And I tell our players all the time, your film's your resume, and so for those guys, they are leaders on our team and they're difference makers, and we're blessed to have them, and they've got to lead us. But again, at the end of the day, I hope that number doubles, that we have 10 to 15 that are postseason. But it's always good to know what your peers think about you going into a season.
Detrez, tell me about your experience so far today at Media Day.
So far, it's been a good experience. Meeting a lot of new guys from the other teams. A lot of coaches and a couple of guys that work with other teams as well. But so far, it's been a good experience.
I've also seen you looking at the media guides. What do you think of those?
I think it's pretty good. Make help you keep up with a lot of stuff that's going on throughout the school and other schools as well.
Now, coming into this season, you're going off 2,000-yard rushing seasons. How are the expectations different each and every year?
Like I said, you got to take every day, little by little. Do what you can every day. Don't try to overdo anything. But for me, just continue doing what I do, and just let the game come to me. Don't go to the game.
How is your leadership role with the team changing?
I'm getting there a little more vocally, but other than that, I'm still there as by example.
And Keon, what's your experience been like today at Media Day?
Very interesting. It's my first time, obviously, but I really enjoyed the people, getting the experience to be around you guys and just around other SoCon teams is a really great experience.
There's a lot of interacting, especially in the first couple of hours, with other teams and their senior players or the players they brought. Tell us a little bit more about how that goes.
Off the field, it's kind of more of off the field experience. It's more than just football. You're here to actually get to know other people and other teams in the conference. Other than that, man, it's all about the SoCon here, and that's what we are here to do.
Now, you're going into the season with a new defensive coordinator. Tell me how that's affected your play.
It's just really gathered us as a defense tight. We're more tight than last year, but it really hasn't affected us. We have grown together, getting to know each other more, getting to know our DC more, and we all here to have fun and win games, man.
A returning face for you, but a new face on the defensive side. Talk to us about Western Carolina's new defensive coordinator.
Well, John Wiley is a guy that I've got a lot of familiarity with. He was a defensive coordinator, and I was a defensive line coach there at Appalachian State. Through all those championship years, we've together were part of 3 national championships and 6 conference championships. He's been a lot of big ball games. He's a seasoned veteran, been coaching almost 30 years, been a D coordinator for over 15, and it just brings a big comfort level. We were talking on the way down, me and Detrez and Keon in the car, and just to hear them talk about Coach Wiley and the respect that he instantly gained. It wasn't that he came in and said, I'm the defense coordinator, you got to respect me. He came in and earned their respect. I remember Keon telling me on the way down, he said, our first meeting, we didn't talk about football. He talked about who he was, and he wanted to know who we were as players. And he said, we didn't even talk about football our whole first defensive meeting. And that, Keon said, that in itself set the tone of who Coach Wiley was, that he cared about us as people before he cared about us as players. So, and that comes through experience and being in a lot of wars. And so, I'm excited about where our defense is. We're going to have a lot of new faces out there, a new style of defense, switching over to the 3-4. And, our players are excited. And our offensive players are just as excited as our defensive players, because our offense knows that, you got to have a defense to go win championships. So our whole football team's rallied around Coach Wiley, and he's brought an immediate impact to our team that I think our fans are going to see this fall.
Well, Coach, thank you for your time here on Media Day.
Well, we appreciate it and can't wait to get started.